Oi, oi, hello and welcome to another GG.CO.UK trends video. It is fast approaching that time of year where we talk all things Royal Ascot. Yes, we have the Derby and the Oaks coming up this week. If you're watching the video as it's been released, there are two videos for those races, one for the Derby, one for the Oaks. Links in the description of those videos for the written articles if you need any help potentially profiling what it might take to win either of those races. There's loads more good content on the GG.CO.UK website from myself and a lot of the other columnists that will help find you winners in many of these races that can be very tricky to decipher. But as for the Royal Ascot stuff, there will be day-by-day cheat sheets. These have been very popular over the years. They've helped find many winners of many races. 5 days of proper action at Royal Ascot. So many races to get through. It can be quite a lot to consume. So those daily cheat sheets will be very helpful. They're going to be launched this week, I think, and there'll be a video coming out on Sunday to surmise a lot of the details in there. But for now, in this video, we're going to talk about two feature races at Royal Ascot, two Group 1s, the Queen Anne Stakes for the milers and the Ascot Gold Cup for the stayers, for the horses that are going to probably be the super sires of the National Hunt sphere. I know this is a flat racing video, but look, we can get some Cheltenham talk in there too at some point, right? Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you can and you want to do so. Drop a like on the video if you like the video. Drop a comment below saying whatever you so wish. There is a link in the description as well detailing how you can become a member of the GG channel. And thank you to our current members already doing so. Look, waffled enough. Let's talk about Queen Anne trends. It's been a Group 1 for milers since 2003. I've looked at all run-ins this century, including the effort that came at York, pulled the relevant details together to give us the top line trends. Now, in the description of this video, there will be a link for the full article where I dive in a little bit deeper. I talk about potential pound level stake returns back into certain elements blind, show you the return on investments in there. But for the top line trends, there's quite a few to look at here. So we'll run through those. 4-year-olds are the horses to follow, but respect foreign 5-year-olds too. The draw doesn't appear hugely relevant. I've looked at that, and again, it's detailed in the article. You can look at it whichever way you like, but from a pound level stake in terms of actual versus expectation, draw really doesn't look relevant, and we've had similar amount of winners from high and low draws. We can have small fields in this race, but looks like it could be a cracker this year. Favourites have performed well in recent years. Again, talk about it from a century perspective, but in recent years, favourites have gone all right. You want to respect the highest rated runner in the field. I know that sounds terribly obvious, the same as when I'm talking about favourites have performed well in recent years. But some of these races that we've done in the past, being the highest rated horse isn't necessarily the way to follow. Respect horses coming from the Lock-Inge. I think they've had 15 winners this century have come from the Lock-Inge. Not all of those won that particular race. There will be a number of horses that are going to come from that race this time that are prominent in the betting, but it is a key trial for this race. Has their furthest career win at 8 to 9 furlongs inclusive, so either 8 or 9 furlongs is the furthest any of these horses has won. Rather than it being a shorter distance too, there might be a couple of horses that try stepping up in trip. Either hasn't run at Ascot or has won here and then is sent off at 4 to 1 or shorter for the race. I detail that quite a lot in the written article, talking about how course form actually brings up the lowest actual and expectations. Then if you start factoring in prices and you start factoring in whether they've won here, actually it's more beneficial if you haven't been here at all, or if you have been here, you will have won here and you will be sent off at 4 to 1 or shorter at SP. As I say, link in the description for the full details of those Queen Anne trends. But let's move on to the Ascot Gold Cup. Like I say, we can mention the C word in here. You look at the honours roll of this board, right? Kiprios, of course, has now been retired. He was going to be a short price to go and do his thing again this time out, despite the way he finished off his last race. But obviously that was picking up a recurrence of an old injury, which has come out since. And obviously they're going to do best by the horse. But it does mean that we're going to have a new name on the leaderboard or on the honours roll, potentially. Cave Tara's in there, Fame and Glory, Westerner, Yates. They're all proper National Hunt sires, aren't they? They're littered with Cheltenham Festival winners, each of them. I've mentioned the Cheltenham bit, we've got that off the chest, but it is a phenomenal race. So what do we want to look at for this year now, especially someone like Kiprios isn't here? Maybe that means the trains are going to change a little bit. It's worth mentioning as well, there has been multiple winners of this race on multiple occasions. So there's been lots of horses that have come back and won it multiple times. Yates is a big one that's done that. Stradivarius, Kyprios. And Kyprios was a 2-time winner of the race, wasn't he? But there are horses that have done this multiple times. So they may skew the stats in somewhat. So we'll kick on with the first part here, which is you want to focus on 4 and 6-year-olds. Now, the only winner that was 7 or 8 years old was Yates, and that was him being as a 7-year-old and as an 8-year-old. So multiple winners can probably defy it at a higher age. The strike rate for 4 and 6-year-olds is far better than it is for 5-year-olds. So again, we may have had multiple winners, but sometimes the 4 and 6-year-olds are the way to go. Favourites are profitable to follow blind. Better still if you follow favourites that are sent off 9 to 4 or shorter. So again, might sound obvious, but if you have got a shorty in this type of race, it is quite hard to get them beat looking at previous trends. Has an official rating of 117 or higher. So that's the figure we're sort of looking for. Now, if the horse is the highest rated runner in the race, they must also tick the box of being the favourite. Where I talked in the Queen Anne, and I mentioned that it's probably an obvious thing to say, being the best horse on official ratings in this particular race only counts for something if you are also sent off as favourite. We've had some horses that have tried probably at older ages or are coming up against younger legs or whatever reason it is, a horse that may have already achieved more but is actually going to go up against a horse now that's probably going to surpass them. So look, highest rated runner is a big box tick only if they are also the favourite for the race. They must have placed top 3 last time out. We've had a few winners this century that didn't, but in the last 15 renewals, every horse placed top 3 last time out. Ideally, they want to have run between 16 and 53 days ago. Most horses will tick that box, though, in terms of when they last ran. And they will have won over at least 14 furlongs, so 1 mile, 6 furlongs. But ideally, they've won over 2 miles or further. Now, again, 4-year-olds doing so well in this race, there may be a number of horses that haven't really tried this extended trip yet. There's not too many races where you get to try to run over so far, but it's pertinent that you would have won over 14 furlongs, and ideally you want to won over 2 miles or further before now. So that's 16 furlongs. Looked at group stuff, and there's other details that are in these articles. As I say, links in the description below for the Ascot Gold Cup. With multiple winners of this race, and with it being a Group 1, it's a bit scattered with saying, look, more horses have won a Group 1 coming back to win this race or have won a Group 1 before they won this race. But actually, if you look at the horses that carried a Group 1 because they won this race, if you see what I mean, it actually skews it slightly. So it's one of those. I've written in there how you want to perceive it. You can perceive it how you want. It would say that most winners have already won a Group 1, but like I say, there's lots of winners that have already won this race. That may have been the Group 1 gateway for them. There'll be lots of horses that are coming into it this time round, or there might be some horses this time round that haven't won a Group 1 yet. I wouldn't necessarily see it as a negative. It depends how much they've tried, where they're sat in the pecking order, and a few of the other elements in there as well. So they're the top line trends for the Ascot Gold Cup. We've done the Queen Anne Stakes. Like I say, links in the description for this, details about how you can become a member of the YouTube channel. Lots and lots and lots of Royal Ascot content coming up. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you tune in for the next weekend watch coming on Thursday. That will be a Derby special. Phenomenal racing. It is one of the best races of the season, isn't it? And then really, there will be some more racing before then, but it is going to be all eyes on Royal Ascot. Be lucky. Thank you for your support, and we'll speak to you again very soon.